I want you to imagine being born in a tent. Not waking up in a tent on a camping trip. Not glamping. Not a festival. Being born in a tent, in the middle of a refugee camp, on a continent that was in the middle of tearing itself apart. No electricity, no clean water, no certainty that tomorrow would come. That is where Amara Diallo's life began. And this is where it went. Amara's mother had walked for 6 days to reach the camp. 6 days, on foot, carrying what she could carry and abandoning what she could not. She arrived in her 3rd trimester, with nothing but the life inside her and the desperate, animal certainty that she had to get that life somewhere safe. The camp held 40,000 people. It had one medical tent, staffed by 2 nurses from a foreign NGO who rotated in and out and did what they could with what little they had. Amara grew up watching people die from things that shouldn't kill anyone. Infections, dehydration, preventable diseases, things that in any other postal code, with any other accident of birth, would have been treated with a pill, a bandage, a visit to a clinic around the corner. Here, there were death sentences. She would sit outside that medical tent for hours, not because anyone invited her, not because she had permission, but because something in her, something that had no name yet at age 7, was paying attention in a way that would take years to understand. One afternoon, she came home and told her mother something. She said, "I'm going to be a doctor." Her mother, who had never finished primary school, who was living in a tent with no running water, who had no idea how the next month's food would arrive, looked at her daughter and nodded. "Then you will be," she said. No hesitation, no qualification, no careful management of expectations. Just a mother who knew something about her daughter that her daughter hadn't fully discovered yet. When Amara was 11, a non-profit organization came to the camp. They were offering something extraordinary. 5 scholarships, 5 seats, at a proper school in a neighboring city. Applications from the camp, over 300 children. 300 children, all of them deserving. 5 seats. Amara competed. She had no tutor, no preparation costs, no parent who could help her study because there was nothing in the house to study from. She had the thing she had always had, a relentless curiosity, a tent full of younger siblings she had helped teach to count and read, and 4 years of sitting outside a medical tent watching the world more carefully than anyone knew. She won one of the 5 seats. She was 11 years old. She left her mother, her sisters, her brothers, the only world she had ever known, and moved to a dormitory in a city that felt like another planet. She shared a room with 40 other girls. She called home once a week on a shared phone. She studied by candlelight when the power went out, which was often, and she graduated top of her class. Every single year. Not because school was easy for her. It wasn't. But she had grown up in a place where survival was never guaranteed. And she had learned, from watching her mother, from sitting outside that medical tent, that attention is a form of love. That doing the work in front of you, fully, is its own kind of prayer. At 18, Amara received a full scholarship to study medicine abroad. She had never been on a plane. She arrived in a foreign country with 1 suitcase and $40. $40. In a country where the cost of a single textbook could exceed that. Medical school is brutal under the best circumstances. The hours are inhuman. The pressure is relentless. The material is vast and complex and never-ending. Students from families with resources, with established networks, with parents who had gone before them. They struggled. Amara had none of those things. What she had instead was a different kind of fuel. She has spoken about this in interviews with a specificity that stays with you. She said, "My classmates sometimes struggled to find motivation. I never struggled with that. What I struggled with was fear. The fear of going back. Not to the camp specifically. The camp had changed. Her family had moved. But to the version of herself that had no power to help the people outside that medical tent. That fear was not a weakness. That fear was the engine. She stuttered with a terror that her wealthier peers could not have manufactured if they tried. She slept less. She asked more questions. She stayed in the library when others went out. She graduated with honors in 6 years and completed her residency at 27. At 28 years old, Amara Diallo had something almost no one from where she came from had ever had. Options. Hospital offers arrived from respected institutions. Stable salaries. Professional environments with modern equipment and reliable colleagues, and the kind of career trajectory that represents everything a medical degree is supposed to unlock. She turned all of them down. She went back. Not home. Exactly. Because the camp as she had known it no longer existed in the same form. But back to the region. Back to the context. Back to the children sitting outside medical tents. She set up a clinic, with funding she had spent 2 years learning how to apply for, with equipment she had sourced through international medical nonprofits, with walls that were, at first, little more than a structure that kept the rain out. But it was a clinic, and it was hers. And on the first day she opened the door, she looked at the line of people waiting outside, mothers holding children, elderly men who had never seen a doctor in their lives, and she thought of herself at 7 years old, sitting outside a tent, watching. She had become the thing she had watched. Amara treats hundreds of patients a month. Many of them are children. She says some of them remind her, in their eyes, of who she was. She has trained 14 local health workers, people from the surrounding communities who had no medical background when they found her, and who now assist in surgeries, manage patient records, and run vaccination programs. She is currently overseeing the construction of a permanent medical center, a real building, with real rooms, with equipment that the camp medical tent of her childhood could not have imagined. She found the donors herself. She wrote the grant proposals herself. She sat in rooms with international organizations and made the case herself. The same girl who once sat outside a tent and paid attention is now the one building the tent. Except this time it has walls and a roof and an operating table. She has performed over 2,000 surgeries, 2,000 moments where someone lay down frightened and woke up relieved, 2,000 lives where the outcome was different because a girl in a camp sat outside a medical tent at age 7 and refused to look away. Here is what I keep coming back to about Amara's story. She was born with nothing, not a little, not a rough start, nothing. No infrastructure, no safety net, no surname that opened doors, no postal code that guaranteed a future. She was born in a tent in the middle of a crisis, to a woman who had walked 6 days to give her a chance. And the thing that changed everything, the single thread that runs from that camp to those 2,000 surgeries, was a 7-year-old girl who sat outside a medical tent and paid attention. That's it. That was the beginning of the whole thing. Not a scholarship, not a wealthy benefactor, not extraordinary intelligence that set her apart from every other child in that camp. Just a girl, watching, deciding, without even having the words for it yet, that what she was watching mattered, and that she was going to be part of it. Your starting point is not your story. It is only the first sentence. Amara Diallo wrote the rest. And so can you. If this story found you today, share it with someone who needs to believe that where they started is not where they have to stay. That is the only ask. Because somewhere right now, there is a child sitting outside a tent, and they need to know that Amara got up.